Greetings, fellow songwriters and seekers, and welcome back to Muse Measure. If you haven't done so yet, hit the guy in the lotus pedal, and you'll get every other day a video with an amazing question from a viewer that addresses some very, very crucial aspect of songwriting and the creative process and how it's connected with our spiritual life. Sometimes a lot on the spiritual side, sometimes not at all. But I think it's all spiritual because this is existence that we're experiencing right now. And it is a spiritual experience as far as I'm concerned. And I don't mean religious, because whatever religion you subscribe to, more power to you. We all have to pick our path. What I'm talking about is something a little bit deeper than that is underneath all the concepts that religion has. All right, well, I won't go into that. So this is from Pittsburgh, great town. I love Pittsburgh. Evan Caruso asks, I feel like the songs I write when I'm alone feel honest and meaningful, but when I imagine other people hearing them, I start changing things so they'll be more understandable or appealing. How do you balance writing truthfully for yourself while also remembering that songs are meant to be heard by other people? Wow, you really stuck a dagger in my back there, Evan, because I think this is my Achilles heel, so I guess the dagger's in my heel. Yeah, I don't worry about that much, and that's probably my downfall. It's probably why I don't write hit songs, is because I'm not worried about other people being able to understand them. Although I've been trying to be more direct in my language lately, and I don't mean direct like I'm just going to spew out a bunch of cliches and tell people what they want to hear and repeat, people's biases. What I mean is more like William Carlos Williams' approach, where you're just the direct experience where anyone could understand what you're talking about. So much depends on a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwaters beside the white chickens. And I apologize to my regular viewers because I recited that poem a couple videos ago. So I'll give you a new one. This is just to say, I've eaten the plums that were in the icebox, in which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. So that's what I mean by direct language, just this objective thing. No flowery language, no crazy metaphors or similes, not trying to sound like a poet, just being direct with it. And Hank Williams is a brilliant writer with this stuff, although he can be poetic at times. Chuck Berry is great with this. Bruce Springsteen writes great lyrics like this. So listening to people like that, Gillian Welch is also brilliant at this. So you can be very poetic and poignant and be rooted in the senses without having an MFA in poetry and having this poetry that you have to have a doctorate to be able to understand. Now, I say all this, and I'm very, very guilty of the opposite. So when it comes to balancing, being able to communicate something to some people, and you're also, you have these maybe personal truths, and the way you're saying it in the song resonates with you, I think you can trust that. I think if the certain words, they resonate with you, but you might ask yourself, are they resonating with me because I have a strong emotion already, and then just these words are just spurring that on? Or are they actually giving and expressing what I'm going through or what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing? So that's an important question to ask when you have these kind of oh shit, these lyrics are not going to make sense to anybody. So let me give you an example. So a breakup that I had probably, 15 years ago, I wrote this song called Not For A While Anyway. And so I started it out pretty kind of, being kind of poetic and being a little elusive with my meaning. It starts out with back down in the alley, looking for a time, I found a lover who became a friend of mine. Okay, so that's kind of hard to understand. That's not very direct. Basically, it's just saying in this dark time of my life, I was just looking for good times and getting wasted. And I found somebody who I had a one-night stand with, and they ended up being a close companion of mine for a very, very long time, and a deep relationship, and which flourished into a friendship. So that's kind of hard to say in poetry, although not that hard. But then the next lines, I think, get a little bit more direct. So I kind of woke up out of that stupor of poetry, and I wrote, "You come, you go. When things get heavy, you just let go." Okay, so, that's not so hard to understand, although it is metaphorical. The thing about heaviness, you just let go. So I'm talking about the frustration I had with this person, right? When things were getting really intense between us and we were having to deal with our own hang-ups and all of the demons we came with, they're the kind of person who would just like, I'm out of here. I can't take this. I just let go. And then I came up with the lines, "A man is made by tears he keeps, and if I could, I would weep." What the hell does that mean? Okay, so a man is made by tears he keeps, like your manhood is made by the fact that you restrain your emotions and you hold inside. And that's, at least for me growing up, and I think a lot of men can resonate with this, is like boys are treated much differently, at least they were. I know times have changed much for the better in this regards, but the way you were taught to be a man was to hold those tears inside, hold those feelings inside, to deny those feelings and stifle them as soon as they come up. And boys don't cry, as the famous Cure song says. Okay? So a man is made by tears he keeps, and if I could, I would weep. So meaning like I would give up this stupid toxic masculinity and this dumb aspect of being a man where you can't express emotion and just weep it all out and get rid of that. I'm totally fine with that. Okay? So to follow that, the refrain is, sometimes it's hard to say the things I need to say, but I don't want to lose you, not for a while anyways. So right there, that's pretty direct language. So you can see how you can start out and you can have this mixture where you can be a poet for 2 seconds, and then you can have an aside where the next thing you're saying is you're talking to the guy next to you at the bar so he can understand very clearly to you. And so you can have both of those. Both of those things can be in there. And it's really nice and very grounding when you do that. Okay, so you can have these flights of imaginations and daydreaming and all these weird surreal images that go by and kind of this flowery language, and then all of a sudden there's a Pepsi can, or you see a McDonald's wrapper on the ground, something that's very, very grounded in our experiences, because this is how we experience life. This is, we have all these thoughts, philosophies, emotions. Doesn't matter of your education level. Everybody has it who I've talked to, and these abstract ways of thinking about things, and then we have a direct experience of something, and that grounds us. And hopefully we can connect the two, because then we can communicate that to other people. We can communicate these abstract ideas we have, these highfalutin concepts, and we can break them down to give it to the everyman or the layman. Not that that person ever existed or will exist, but we have that idea in our head. So I think it's totally fine to mix the two in your song lyrics, and always be truthful to yourself. So even when you're speaking directly, you should still be speaking the truth of your own experience. Absolutely. But you can just say, in a much more direct way. That's my take on it anyways. If you want to hear that song that I wrote the lyrics for, I'm going to do it on my upcoming album, but I have a live version that I did back in Minneapolis a long time ago, and I really like the song, so you should check it out if you have a chance. And I'm proud of that song. So go check that out. I've got the link down below for it. It's called Not For A While anyways. So thanks so much, Evan, and best of luck with writing those lyrics, mixing the poetic with the direct. And I mean, they're not opposites. Poetry should be direct, and direct language should be poetic. All right. If that doesn't confuse you, I don't know what will. All right. Best of luck, and I will see you next time on Muse Measure. Take care.